Mad Scientist Duffin and Brandon coming at you today with some more supplement, study, research, facts, observations even, all that good stuff. So let's talk about fat burners. Oh man, I've been in the game for a long time, and these were been being pushed hard at least from the 90s on. And what do? They allow you, they increase your metabolism. Your metabolism is on fire, so much so it's gonna make fat loss effortless. In fact, you can eat anything, have pizza, whatever you want, and it's gonna change over how your body processes fuel. It's gonna start burning just that fat. These are the claims, but what's the research tell us? What's the actuality, Brandon?
Yeah, so the actuality is more on this side of things. And the big things it's going to do for us in actuality is it's going to help to curb our appetite. It's going to help adherence to the diet. It's going to give us a little bit more energy and also better our sense of well-being. But you got to think about it from a marketing perspective. What sounds better? Let's help curb your appetite, or let's effortlessly lose weight, get rid of stubborn body fat. It's pretty obvious what's going to be more attractive in terms of the ideas behind it. But at the same time, unfortunately, this is just not the truth of the situation. Fat burners unfortunately get a bad name because of the ridiculous claims associated with them, but that doesn't mean they're bad in themselves. They can be very effective at particular things.
Yeah, this right here. This is the end game of what they do. They help you with your adherence to your diet, because your diet is what is going to deliver this. There is no getting around this right here. If you want to lose weight, you have to intake less calories than you're expending. The opposite happens if you want to gain weight. Just hands down. No magic supplement is going to change that. Nothing, ever, okay? So it comes down to this. And these things can have a really helpful impact, especially if you struggle with the adherence side of it. Not having those hunger cravings, the pangs that are coming after you, yeah, that's gonna help you adhere. Feeling good and having the energy when you're getting a little lethargic because you don't have the calories that you normally have, you're in a deficit. You know, a nice 500 calorie deficit per day is a good place to target, by the way, for fat loss. But you can vary that up or down. I'm not just giving some advice here. But these things will all feed into that. And that's what fat burners do. Combination of stimulants and or nootropics, and you can start having that effect, all right? Now, if you understand that, now you can actually look at tailoring a fat burner, a thermogenic. Well, it's not that, but we can start tailoring what ingredients we put in there to deliver the best effect.
And the thing is, when we're in a caloric deficit, it seems like such a normal thing, and it is for people to try to lose weight, but when we're in a caloric deficit, especially a severe one, our body's in starvation mode. That's as close as most people will ever get to starvation mode. So what happens is your body's very smart. Your body wants to maintain homeostasis. So because of this, you get really freaking hungry. You get really hungry, cognitive function goes down to some extent, energy goes down in a really big way because you're taking in less energy. So it's very important that you have something, or very helpful at the very least, that you have something that combats these effects, because when these effects are happening, ever heard of getting hangry? It's not the best thing to have happen to you in your life, and furthermore, it can affect work, it can affect a lot of different things. So having something to help curb appetite, to help get over those cravings, as well as improve cognitive function and just offset a lot of the effects that comes with being in starvation mode, is extremely helpful. But again, we do not want to oversell it. This does not mean it's going to magically burn belly fat in a very particular spot. This just means it can help counter these starvation effects.
And we're saying that can be helpful. It's not required. All you've got to do really is this. So if you've got the discipline and you can walk through this stuff, go freaking do it. That's it. So we're not saying that this is the direction that you need to go. We're saying this is what those products actually deliver. They deliver this, they market this, and this is not healthy marketing on some of this stuff here, right? Because believing that, fat loss is going to be effortless, you can eat anything, all this doesn't get to the root issue of how you manage and maintain your weight as a whole, as a human being, which comes down to adhering to a plan. So I rather, it's not as sexy, and that's why they don't market here, but this is actually better for you to know long term, that it all comes down to this, and then we can help affect that. And if you haven't been around somebody that's cutting aggressively, like for a bodybuilding show, the hangry comment, you will get irritable with your relationships, with your work relationships, all this sort of stuff, and that will show through, and people will be aware that you're dieting. So that has an effect. At least I know it's been in my life when I've been in those phases of time. Well, Brandon, you've been around me.
Yes, absolutely. He's probably seen that in me, and I've seen that in him.
Yeah.
And one similarity that this graph shows, again, both the crazy marketing campaign that you see sometimes, as well as the truth behind the matter, both of which, though, can help lose weight. The one big prerequisite, though, is you still have to be in a caloric deficit. It's still going to help to exercise, so on and so forth. With weight loss does not happen by sitting on your ass doing nothing, and you still have to be in a deficit to experience weight loss.
And if you're using one of these products, if you know that this is actually what's working, that sure helps you get here than believing the statements that are sold over here. So let's talk about what do the studies show with some of the ingredients that go in these products.
Absolutely. There's a few specific ingredients that studies have shown help quite exponentially. The first, and probably one of the most study-proven supplements out there in the world, is caffeine. Caffeine's most tremendous effects is with fat loss. Caffeine really does help. There's been many different studies and even a well-done meta-analysis that has actually shown this. And the big way that it helps is, just like it says up here, helping give you more energy. When you're in starvation mode, you don't have much energy. So giving you more energy, and also it can help with just increasing your BMR and just making exercise and other things of that nature a little bit more realistic for yourself when you're in a severe caloric deficit. Now, furthermore, yohimbine, which is a word that I always say incorrectly, but hopefully you know what I mean there. Yohimbine is another really well-studied, proven supplement that helps with these things. And one other one is Grains of Paradise. Grains of Paradise has a few fantastic, it's a little less studied, as well as yohimbine. Caffeine's definitely the most studied of the three up here. But Grains of Paradise is going to help exponentially. There's been a few really well-done studies, tightly controlled studies that show that actually helps increase your basal metabolic rate in a pretty damn significant way. So here's a few things that are going to help do what we mentioned with curbing appetite, giving energy, and basically doing everything that we have on the truth side of the board up here.
So I find myself, yohimbine is incredible at curbing appetite. So this is the subjective side of the feedback, although you can talk to what you pulled in the studies. But myself, as well as a lot of people, don't enjoy the feelings that you get on a dosage that delivers this. And so I have to get this question, because it's actually in full list, why it's in there, and can we get a non-version? I'm like, just try it. Me, who doesn't like it, saying, just try it. Well, it's a matter of how these things work in a blend together. One of the items that we don't have down on here, and I just is in a lot of our products, is DMAE. And there's not a lot of research on it. It falls in the nootropic category. So things that have an impact on mood, cognitive function, memory, things like that, right? And there's some studies on that, but not that much on this product. Well, it is molecularly similar to ADHD medication called Adderall, all right? And that's used, there's research showing Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, all those sorts of things as well. But that is a great combination. This is subjective feedback here, but it counters those negatives while popping in those things that we talked about here. Sense of well-being, energy, so that's the nootropic in here, and again, that's kind of based on subjective feedback, although you can go ahead and research the molecularly similar one, but I'm not going to speak to that as research right now, because it's not exactly the same thing. But that all feeds into creating a really great blend, in my opinion. It's a really good choice, because now we're going to crush this appetite piece. So if we know that, that's even going to help us adhere better, have that energy, that sense of well-being, those things that you really struggle with in that environment. Anything else on You were mentioning something to me earlier about research on grains of paradise.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, Grains of Paradise has a few really well done studies on it. It's not the most studied topic, but the few that have been done have shown some pretty significant effects to increasing BMR throughout the day. So again, another fantastic way or another fantastic ingredient to have in fat burner-like products. And then one other thing worth mentioning, I want to touch on that actually Duffin discussed, is the reason that DMAE is not up here is because unfortunately there's just not a whole lot of studies on it. So it wouldn't be fair to say that it's a studied, proven ingredient, but at the same time, the original reason it was made was actually to help treat children with ADHD and other issues of that nature. So it is something that has been found both at an anecdotal level as well as some research indicating this. It has been found to have effects that make it a nootropic and very helpful to have in one of these blends.
Yes, and a nootropic fits very well with the concepts that we're talking about here. Now, it did sound like we're trying to bump in some sales on this related to grains of paradise, but the increasing metabolism, let's get back to it. You know, these products do that, but it's so insignificant. Like, what's the impact of bumping your BMR by 50 calories a day or even 100 calories a day? Pretty insignificant when that's just the variation of you not measuring a couple things or popping a small palm-sized snack into your mouth during the day. So yes, they do. This one probably has the most study proven effects on it, but we're not talking to amount that is going to allow you to effortlessly lose fat, allow you to eat anything, do those sorts of things, okay? This is what you're being sold, understand how it works, and then that can help you choose the right product and then actually execute it much better if you actually understand that at the end of the day, it's driving you here. It comes from here.